People don't trust the British government and therefore the law to act in any way that is fair. So for many people, the law is no longer the law. They understand that the law is just a tool of control.
Katie Hopkins just revealed what she really thinks about David Lammy, and it's causing a stir. You're not going to believe what Katie Hopkins just said about David Lammy. Seriously, this one has the internet buzzing, and it's not just because of what she said, but how she said it. While most politicians were busy playing it safe, avoiding controversy, and repeating the same talking points, Hopkins went straight for the jugular. No filters, no hesitation, just a raw opinion, live, and unapologetic. And let's be honest, whether you love her or can't stand her, Katie Hopkins has always known exactly how to grab a headline. But this time, it feels different. It was a calculated moment, designed to shake the political conversation right to its core. So, what exactly did she say? Well, it started on her latest online broadcast, the one where she often speaks her mind about British politics and what she calls the decay of accountability in Westminster. When David Lammy's name came up, she paused for a moment, leaned in, and said something that instantly froze the live chat. In her words, David Lammy represents everything wrong with modern politics: loud on emotion, quiet on results. That line alone sent shockwaves across social media. She didn't stop there. Hopkins went on to say she believed Lammy had become more of a celebrity politician than a genuine public servant, more focused on media attention than meaningful change. Now, whether you agree with her or not, that's a statement that hits hard, and it's got everyone talking. Within minutes, clips of the segment started spreading across X, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. Hashtags like hashtag Katie Hopkins, hashtag David Lammy, and hashtag UK Politics started trending. Some users applauded her blunt honesty, saying, "Finally, someone saying what everyone's thinking." Others called it yet another provocative stunt, designed to stir division rather than debate. One user wrote, "Hopkins thrives on controversy, but this time she might have crossed a line, not politically, but personally." Another fired back, "Why is it crossing a line to demand accountability from politicians? That's literally the job of public voices." So, here we are, another national conversation, sparked not by a policy or a parliamentary vote, but by a few sentences from one of Britain's most polarizing figures. Now, let's step back for a second and look at the bigger picture. Katie Hopkins and David Lammy couldn't be more different politically, culturally, even stylistically. Lammy, a senior Labour MP and the current Deputy Prime Minister, is known for his passionate speeches on race, justice, and equality. He's articulate, educated, and often praised by supporters for his commitment to social issues. Hopkins, on the other hand, built her brand on confrontation, saying what others won't, regardless of the backlash. She's the definition of unfiltered commentary. And that's exactly why this clash between the two personalities feels so explosive. Because it's not just about what she said, it's about what it represents. It's that ongoing tug-of-war between free speech and political correctness, between calling things out and keeping the peace. And make no mistake, this wasn't a random comment. Hopkins knows how the media cycle works. She knows that one carefully placed remark can dominate headlines for days. And this one has. Political commentators quickly jumped in. One analyst on GB News said, "Hopkins is tapping into public frustration, the sense that politicians talk endlessly, but deliver very little." Another observer from The Independent countered, "It's easy to criticize from the sidelines, much harder to govern in reality." But here's where things get even more interesting. David Lammy himself hasn't directly responded. At least, not yet. Instead, he posted a short clip from one of his recent speeches, writing, "Leadership is not about noise, it's about results." Now, that might sound generic, but many saw it as a subtle clapback to Hopkins' comments. And if it was, it's a clever one. As the debate rages online, people are once again split down the middle. To some, Katie Hopkins represents bravery, the willingness to speak uncomfortable truths in an age of fear and cancel culture. To others, she's seen as deliberately provocative, someone who uses shock to stay relevant. But whichever side you fall on, one thing's clear: she knows how to make people listen. And in the world of modern media, that's power. Because right now, as politicians debate policies most voters barely understand, public attention isn't on Parliament, it's on viral moments like this. Clips that get shared, commented on, remixed, debated, and argued about for days. It's the new political battlefield, not Westminster, not the BBC, but your social feed. So, what happens next? Well, that's the million-pound question. If Lammy responds more directly, this could easily turn into one of the biggest media spats of the season. If he stays quiet, Hopkins will likely claim victory, saying he had no answer to her critique. Either way, the conversation she sparked isn't going away anytime soon. And that brings us to the heart of it. This isn't just about Hopkins or Lammy. It's about a deeper frustration simmering across the country, people feeling ignored, overtaxed, underrepresented, and fed up with politicians who seem to live in a different world. Hopkins may be controversial, but she taps into that public mood, that feeling of enough is enough. And Lammy, whether fair or not, is being positioned as the symbol of that establishment frustration. So the question remains, is Katie Hopkins simply voicing what many secretly think, or is she pushing the limits of responsible speech, once again, for attention? Whichever it is, one thing's certain. The ripple effects of her comments are spreading fast, and they've reignited a national debate about honesty, accountability, and the future of political discourse in Britain. And as always, the internet has already chosen sides. Stay tuned, because this story, just like the comments section under it, is far from over.